All right, I'm going to open this up to the audience. Is there a merch item, giveaway item that's been really popular? Just shout it out.
Candles.
Candles? Is it a custom scent? No. Just a regular smell.
Here's your next step with a candle is have it laced with THC.
Scent, right?
Yeah. Wow, a THC candle,
Wow,
David.
Okay.
Yeah.
David's hit that part of his career.
I'm not dead yet.
Let me know where you get that one.
All the orthodontists in Colorado are like, we've had that for years. Yeah. Well, hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Digital Orthodontist Live. I'm your host, Dr. Kyle Fagala, and I'm joined by four extremely impressive people. To my immediate left, Dr. Ben Fishbein. I have Amanda Floyd. I have someone you may have heard of, Dr. David Sarver. And on the very end, somewhat annoyingly, we always say Dr. Grant Collins, a.k.a. the braces guy. Everyone says that, don't they?
Yes.
But we are joined by him. And today we are in Pensacola, Florida at the Fishbein Fundamentals Greatest Hits course with David Sarver's Ortho on the Coast. I got all that. It is a huge course. We've got, which you can't see off camera, about 120 people that are joining us today. Can you make yourselves heard, 120 people? Yeah. That was pretty good. We practiced that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some questions that I wrote up, but also some questions that have been submitted by the people who are here today. We're going to spend about an hour doing that, and hopefully you at home watching this as you eat Cheetos in your pajamas, you'll enjoy this just as much as they're enjoying this, eating their coconut shrimp. Mm-hmm. So let's start with this. Amanda said she's a huge fan of icebreaker questions.
My favorite.
So we're going to start with that. This is called the elevator pitch. You might find yourself on an elevator at this event, and if you do, and you had 10 seconds and a stranger asked you, what makes your practice unique, or what makes your approach to orthodontics unique, what would you say? And we're just going to go down the line. Ben?
I would say simple. We try to keep things as simple as possible. It helps us grow and scale, and for our size, that's what we need.
Okay, great. Amanda?
I would say having the best team in the industry. We have a great, incredible team. All of our team have worked in an ortho practice, all layers of leadership, and honestly, they have some of the best experience in the industry. So I would trust any of them to do exactly what I do, and that's what's made us so successful.
Awesome. David?
Mine is easy. I would say that myself and my staff team.
We try not to say staff. Yeah, it's like a staph infection, right? Our team.
Well, I've been slapped several times for that one, but I've been in this 46 years.
Yeah.
And so that's my answer is we're well seasoned. I've got staff that, team that's been there for, I just had a lady retire after 42 years.
Wow.
As a TC. And I think my ladies who are with us here are 25 and 30 years. So 34 years.
Awesome.
34 years.
That's
I turned
incredible.
41
Okay.
in May. So
I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah. That's amazing. All right. And then Dr. Grant, a.k.a. the braces guy. Sorry. It's the last time.
Thank you. I'd say outside the box. So we find ways to incorporate ideas that we learn outside of the industry of orthodontics. Disney, Ritz-Carlton, Starbucks, and we figure out how to incorporate those into our practice.
Very nice. Grant and I were in residency at the same time. Actually, Ben and I were in residency at the same time, which is wild. But Grant has been about Disney and Ritz-Carlton for as long as I've ever known him. He's always been on another plane thinking outside of the box, so kudos to him. David, I've got a pointed question for you, and shocker, it's on clinical excellence. You've emphasized aesthetics and interdisciplinary care throughout your career. What's one shift you've seen recently that's changing how we approach case planning today?
Well, from my standpoint, I can speak for myself that what's been really a pivotal change for me personally is something that I first came up with probably 6 or 7 years ago. and published on it. And it's a different way of looking at patients. We tend to look at patients straight on, profile, smile, serious, profile, turn them obliquely, and look at the smile that way. And that's what I term smile projection. I am under projected, okay? And actually in today's world, no research done on it yet as to whether, how do you measure when someone is under projected or over projected. And it's one of those, I think, what I teach is that we're less and less dependent on cephs and those sort of things for diagnosis because it's a three-dimensional picture, not a two-dimensional picture.
Okay.
So for me, that's been the biggest change for me when I'm sitting there looking at a new patient is not to just stand there looking at them that way or looking at a ceph, to look at them in all dimensions.
Okay.
And I'll add that the advantage I've got at this point in my career is I have maintained records. I live in Birmingham and people don't move away much. So I have the opportunity to, for example, I finally got a Miss America this year. She's third generation patient.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I've got a lot of, get to see what you did wrong, and down the road.
Fabulous. Anybody else on the panel, anything that you're doing differently in terms of case planning?
Like he said, a lot of it's just individual cases. And I mean, for us, it's like every single case, we look at, and I try not to box people into just like one size fits all, but I think it's pretty straightforward overall from our end too.
No, I would just say it's finding out what the patient wants. So, I used to think, hey, everyone, you gotta, no matter what, get them into a perfect class 1 ideal. You gotta find out what they want and give them what they want.
Yeah. I'm still rocking that. I print off a pan and stuff. I'm still like drawing on it and stuff. Mm-hmm. So sorry, David. David gave me a look. Also, David, you look well projected. I don't know like what the right term is for that. I don't know what you're talking about. So,
well, interesting. We just had the 7th edition of Contemporary come out.
I saw that.
We focused on, for example, Ben, when you said you try and get them class 1, I counter that with class 1 is a 100-year-old concept, which has nothing to do with aesthetics. And so, Vince Kokich and I started that years ago, that we need to stamp that out. But the people that refer as patients, they still want to live there because that's what they're taught. And so giving people what they want is, if the referring dentist may want class 1 when that would be the worst thing you could do. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be presenting a case tomorrow that fits that ticket that you go, okay, that's what you want, that's what you're going to get.
Well, I'm going to tell all the class 3 open bites they look beautiful as they are. So this is great. Ben, I got a question for you. This is on challenging your mindset. And I think Ben is good about that. If you've ever heard Ben speak, you have a different way of thinking about things. I think that's always been true, which is a good thing. You're going to be covering this. Oh, that's the name of your lecture. Challenge your mindset. That's why. What's one belief or habit that you've had to completely rethink to achieve better results?
I think, easy thing to say, and probably out of all the visitors that have visited us, it's the one that many doctors have the biggest issue or problem with themselves, including me initially, is delegation. And part of that is, orthodontists should do what they're most profitable at, which is orthodontics. And the other side of it is, typically, orthodontists are not great at every avenue in their office. So for me, it's finding people who are better than me at the other things that don't require my license. So now what we try to do is, for all of our orthodontists, is delegate everything their license doesn't require them to do. Number one, they can be more efficient. And number two, we can find people who are really good at doing those things.
I think that's fair. For me, that has sort of evolved over time, which again, we all have different philosophies and different ways of approaching things, for sure. The consultation, in school, I was taught that it had to, encompass these 9 points of, focus, and it would take 25, 30 minutes, and there were dental casts and things like that. And David, I'm sure you've seen that evolve over decades in terms of what you're trying to hit in that consultation, to where now certain consultations might take me a minute, and then I know kind of in your context, you may not be in the room. And none of those things are like bad in concept necessarily. And so that's been a huge change for me. And doing a practice from scratch, having to kind of make that stuff up, but being influenced by different people in different ways, where ultimately, what's the point of a consultation? Well, it's to get someone to start treatment such that you want them as a patient, and that you're able to provide for them what it is that they want and why they're there. There's obviously a lot more color we can give on that, but let's go to some user submitted questions, shall we? Some of you submitted questions, and I thank you for that. This one, it's kind of nice and light. I like it. What in-office activities or fun days do you do to keep patients excited throughout treatment? Anyone can take this question. Does anyone do fun days?
Such a Grant Collins question.
Yeah.
It feels very Grant. Feels
We
very out
do.
of the box.
Yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow too, but we have like a big calendar that we have like painted on one of the walls in the front, and we'll do certain like things we'll bring to our clinic. We've done balloon artists, we've done, magicians, we've done reptile zoos. We bring them in. We've got this we built out this like little community center in the front. We'll do musicians, we'll do things like that. And it doesn't have to be super complex. You can find space to do this stuff, but just something that's fun and creates energy that we like. It's not necessary to do in an orthodontic clinic. It's by all means not our main driver, but we try to create things like that. Or we'll have on our calendar, like if it's National Flannel Day, we'll do something fun with that. We'll invite our patients into that. We'll all wear flannels that day. We'll have our patients do it too, and we'll just make it a fun event that way. So we just bring people into exciting things or cultural things. If there's like Hispanic Heritage Month or something like that.
Wow. Glad I don't practice in Rochester. That's awesome, man. Anybody else do anything like that? Any activities, patient days? We've done it in the past.
Yeah, ours is always the petting zoo is really popular.
Oh.
The petting zoo is always a big hit. Similar stuff, face painters. Anytime we open a new office, there's a big to do for it. So face painting, balloon arches, balloon artists, magicians, lots of times.
We do a casino in the office.
Casino nights. Casino nights probably one of our most well received.
Invite
grand opening.
the local dentist to it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite episodes of The Office.
That's
is Casino Night.
that is where we got it from.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We model our office after Michael Scott.
You're speaking to the right crowd.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
All right,
World's
a sort of
greatest boss.
follow-up question that seems similar is, how do you celebrate patients on their D-band or banding day?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Grant. Set the stage
all right,
in such a
Go
way
ahead,
that we
go
could
ahead.
never live up to your standard.
No, we have two options. We let them choose between seeing it privately at the chair. If they want like an intimate moment at the chair, we make them feel excited at that moment. Or we have this thing called the red carpet, where they have them walk down this hallway with a red carpet. We roll out and we have this offset mirror with like these lights that they can, we all clap for them and they can see it there. And we used to do something really unique where we would actually surprise them with a food that we would kind of secretly find out they were excited for when they got their braces off. So we'd have a runner go out, if they were like, hey, we're really excited for, this time of pizza or something, we'd show up with that at the end of the appointment.
Crazy.
But now we see a higher volume, so we've changed that a little bit to accommodate what we're doing.
Yeah.
But that was fun when we did it. I had a really good time with it. Like that moment was very special. It was a very wow moment. Like, how did they just do that? And it was a connection, and I love that part of it.
It's crazy.
I think the beauty is trying to find the wow moments even at scale.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's like Michelin star restaurant stuff. Like showing up with their food. I don't know if you watch the show The Bear, but they do that for people,
Yeah.
Amazing. David, what do you do for patients on bonding or debond days?
Probably ask my people who don't need a license to practice to answer that one.
It's funny you say that because I increasingly know less and less about what we do.
Yeah.
And to the degree that that's great. I love it.
Well, I'll give you just to glance ahead in your career that for probably the past 10 years, patients have commonly asked, when do you plan to retire? Now, I don't know if that's when are you leaving or...
No, they don't want you to retire.
Right.
course not.
But my answer has been, and it's true for any job, any profession. My standard answer is, I can't retire now because I just now know what I'm doing.
Oh, there you go.
And almost all of them rivet in on that one. A lot of the fun stuff in the office actually occurs outside of me because I'm really not a very fun person. But
he's self-aware.
I don't think that's true.
yeah, well, I would say the one thing that I play rock and roll loud.
Yeah?
You've been in my office. I've
Okay.
got a stereo system built in.
You and Ben would work well together.
Music is a big deal for me. I have
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
very curated playlist.
Well, Dr. Streeter will let them play country.
No,
Right.
not possible.
me. So I had a guy in one day who I'd treated his family, and then I was treating him, and he came in on a day that I wasn't there, and he said, "Hey, where's Club Sarver?" He just wasn't used to a quieter atmosphere. So y'all can crank it up a little bit if you want to, but on my days,
Now, the
I
real
like that.
question is, do you have a Spotify playlist that you're going to share
yeah.
with the group?
yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I've back in the day. I'll tell you how it evolved.
Please.
Yeah, I know you want to know.
No, I do.
I started out in a rental space that was probably about the size of this table. And I put a little radio up, and while nobody was there, we'd have the music going. And patients would come in, and we'd cut the radio off, and they would go, "Why'd you do that?" And so we'd cut it back up. Then that went to boom boxes, and so we would play tapes, and people would bring their own tapes to be played while they were there. Then discs, so then they'd bring their own discs, and I've had 100-disc player. And so half of my time, I bought CDs that were greatest movie theme hits.
Yeah?
Oh, I remember.
Okay, and so I was the DJ. I'd walk around the office while they were actually seeing patients. I'd walk around the office and go, "What's that one?" And you see the mother just, and I'd go, "Andy Mayberry, come on." Now, y'all don't even know what Andy Mayberry is. So,
We know Andy Griffith. Yes, we know that. We
Okay.
get that. I'm an old soul.
so I can be fun, but
Clearly, David, you're a fun guy.
Yeah.
I think it's great to think about all the different physical media that you've lived through, and I think it's fun to think through the idea. Well, that sounded wrong. I think it's fun to think of the idea that there was probably a time where music wasn't like a given in an office setting. Which, for me, if there was not music, I would absolutely go crazy. Like in the event that the internet goes down and the radio stops, I'm like freaking out because it's too quiet. I have to have music, but I'm a music guy.
well, we've got one staff member, a team member. What the hell
Yeah.
am I supposed to call him? Okay. One team member who, Leah, that is cognizant of keeping me from having to go, "Crank it up," because I don't like quiet either.
Does he need the volume louder because his hearing has gone, or is it okay? All right, we'll move on. Here's another. I have in this 2 silly questions, and this is another silly question. This is called the alternate universe. If you weren't in orthodontics, I think this is an interesting question. What would you be doing right now? We'll start with Grant on the end. What would you be doing, Grant?
Oh man, I used to always want to be work for a sports team. I think I still would, like Timberwolves or some type of basketball team or soccer team. I love the energy of it. It's really fun. I could get my creative outlet there, do their socials or something like that. But I just love being a part of that, the energy of the whole place. That'd be really fun for me.
If you don't know, Grant was a college soccer player at St. Olaf College. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow that's in my brain.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
What position did you play?
Center mid. Yeah.
Center mid. I was right forward.
Nice.
At a small high school in Northeast Arkansas, so basically the same thing. David, if you weren't an orthodontist, what would you be? DJ.
No,
Obviously.
actually, I wanted to be a professional basketball player.
Well, that's okay. So now I've got another college athlete, point guard at Auburn, pole vault state champion at Auburn.
Yeah.
I know a lot about your sports history. This is fun.
Yeah, but then I decided really what I wanted to do is be the owner of a professional basketball.
Oh, that's better.
Now
Yeah,
you're talking.
yeah, that's way better. Amanda, what about you?
I mean, my fun answer, if you know me, I would obviously be touring with Taylor Swift. I can't dance or sing, but I would be doing one of those things because I would
Okay.
learn.
Nice.
Outside of that, I mean, truly, I would probably be doing some sort of business development. I love to create leaders. I love to work with leaders. I kind of like to find right people, right seats. So I'd probably be doing something with that, but that's if I was on break from my tour.
Gotcha. Awesome. Ben?
I mean, I love to be a professional athlete also. I don't think that's in my cards. But if I wasn't, having my own business, doing something, and I was doing something completely different, I think I enjoy being a teacher.
Nice.
Also,
a teacher.
For those that don't know, he is a magician.
Well, I haven't got paid to do a gig yet, so it might not have.
This is something I didn't
He's
know.
very good at
To
this.
what degree?
I've done one performance, and that was in front of the Fishbein Orthodontics team.
He's being very humble right now. He's done many
Oh
performances.
my gosh, you got to bring out a magic trick tomorrow.
He's actually
Man.
very
Sometimes
good.
when visitors come, I pull a couple out. So we'll
He's
see.
actually very good, and I have high standards of what I think is good.
Sure, of course.
I'm not going to
Appreciate
say he's
that.
that good at stand-up comedy, which is another trait of his, but he's very good at magic.
Well, that was not what I was expecting. Like, not even a little bit. I would be a magician. Yeah. Okay. No one asked me, but I would be a musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would like
Definitely
to
could
be.
see that.
Yeah, I'd love to be that. All right, so let's actually jump
Can I
ahead.
tour with you though?
You could tour with me
Thank
for
you.
sure. If we were playing with Taylor Swift, I would love that.
obviously.
Yeah, playing in stadiums and stuff. All right, I'm going to jump ahead to Amanda, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, sorry to throw you for a loop. Leadership and culture. I don't know if you know this. You should know this. Amanda is a consultant. So Amanda, obviously, can I just say ran Ben's practice? I mean, that's like fair.
Say whatever you want. It's
for-
your podcast.
For me, I can say what I want. For many years, but she's now a consultant in and out of dozens and dozens of offices, does a great job, has a great team. As you are in these practices now, what's a common leadership blind spot that you see in successful practices? I think this is applicable to all of us. And then along those lines, how can doctors address it before it becomes an issue?
Such a good question. I feel like I could go on down into a hole for this.
Go for it.
I think the number one thing is poor leadership. And I hate to say that because it is something that docs are sensitive about, but oftentimes a doctor will have a leader that they feel is great, but it's not a cultural great leader. And they're not developing leaders that work with them. And if you have bad leadership in your practice, your practice is not going to succeed. So the most successful practices have leaders that take accountability. They are continually taking the blame, so to speak, when things go wrong or things aren't adding up rather than passing that blame. And if you have a leader that's passing the blame on not just other people, but like the economy or circumstances or our patients or our area or whatever else we hear all the time, if you have a leader that's constantly shifting the blame to something else, you're developing a culture of everyone else on your team starting to shift that blame rather than just taking ownership. When we decide to take ownership as leaders, regardless of what area you work in the practice, you can be as successful as you decide you want to be. We took a very small practice to a very large practice, and we've done this countless times over with clients. We've had the major opportunity to work with thousands of practices over the course of the last 8 years, holding this course and having fundamentals that we host in our office. And we've seen this everywhere from Switzerland to we see this everywhere. We have visitors from all over the world, and it's always the same issues, and it boils down to poor leadership. So if you are a doctor here and you have a great leader, count yourself very, very lucky.
And if your team's not looking at you right now, it's because you're a bad leader.
So
and
that's the thing. It's
hoping you
also the
realize that.
doctor. Like if the doctor's checked out, the owner's checked out, you're part of the leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be honest, the last few years at different times, I've checked out as a leader
I
inside
think
the
we all
practice.
do, right? We all do.
Yeah.
It's human nature.
And you see like the negative impact of that, whether that's showing up late, missing the team meeting in the morning,
course.
or it's just kind of being
Slacking
focused
off.
on other stuff, slacking off, not being, at your best. And it's easy to look at team members when they're not doing that. They're not thriving, they're sort of lethargic or whatever it may be, and be like, come on, like you can do better. But it's hard to say that of oneself. So yeah, I could do better. You've encouraged me now to
Thank
do
you.
better.
I aim to
Because
please.
I wouldn't say it's a blind spot because I know I'm bad about it, but I'll work on it. All right, a question that's sort of along the same lines. This is a user-submitted question. I wish we had names on these. We don't. But how often do all the doctors and practice directors or higher leadership meet? And I don't know who I'm going to direct this to because You're no longer in Fishbein.
Oh, I am still in Fishbein.
Oh, you are? Oh, they
How
just
many
keep
times
dragging
can we
you back
talk on the
in.
day?
Okay.
About 4 to 5.
4 or 5 times a day.
So is there regular like leadership meetings that you guys do?
We do a weekly, or I do a weekly meeting with the directors,
Okay.
and that's just
When is that?
Mondays.
At what time?
Morning, typically 10 a.m.
Okay. How does that meeting go?
I get a report from each of the directors, find out what they're working on. I kind of give them some feedback. I call her, ask her what I need to say, and make sure they're doing all the things that they're supposed to be doing, which hopefully happens.
Okay. So, but weekly, that's, and it's the front of the week, which is great. Grant, what about you?
We do monthly.
Monthly?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
with your leadership group?
Yeah, leadership group. So we do every morning. We do a morning huddle, and we're staying like on top of our values and things that we need to discuss. But every month we'll do leadership. I actually go through all the teams too. We have like a structure I found that works well for us. I'll do the whole morning, one Thursday a month, and yeah, it works well. And I feel like they get to be heard, and we get great ideas out of it. We execute plans then, and it works well.
Yeah.
Nice. David, do we do meetings? It's okay. If we don't, I don't know.
I would say that over the 4 to 6 years, we had several different models
Sure.
of what we do. I would say I'm in a transition situation where all the meetings are conducted by Dr. Streeter because I feel like it's a time for her to develop her own corporate culture. My corporate culture was, I'm a great believer in don't wait until Friday to discuss something that wasn't done well. Hit it right then. And I'm a lot more calm about it than I was many years ago. I would be rather violent about it. But when they would complain about me being overboard, I would say, as soon as I lose the fire in my belly is when y'all are out of a job.
There you go.
So I still believe that one.
I love that. Kind of to segue off what he said, that's the culture we've developed, is that we want to handle things in the moment rather than waiting for a meeting or sending a long email. It's like, hey, let's just call this one individual that it concerns and handle this right now. And I mean, my team can attest. That's how I lead. If we have one little thing, I call them or I text the person and it's handled, and we don't have to have an all team meeting or an all team email. And I hate meetings just for the sake of meetings. Like, there's nothing worse to me. And he's the same way. We hate that. Now with Fishbein, it's different because there's over 100 employees. And so we have to meet with these leads on a weekly basis because there's 9 offices that we're trying to, he really at this point, but yeah. So
Ben
it's a
still
little
says
different.
we.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't blame him. Well, I wish I could ask like all the audience, like kind of what you do, but
It's your podcast. You can do whatever you
I
want.
guess I can do whatever I want. Yeah, you're right. So by a show of hands, because I'm just curious, who does weekly leadership meetings? Raise your hand. That's not many.
But Rochford and Coke, big dogs over there.
What
with the
about
meetings.
monthly meetings? Okay, more. What about if you've not raised your hand yet, do you do like semi-annual or annual meetings? Okay, so we have some people that don't do leadership meetings. Fair enough. Okay. And we're all doing okay, so that works. Maybe something to consider adding in. Let's come back to a marketing and patient connection question. Can you guess who we're going to ask? We're going to ask Grant. Grant, you've built one of the largest orthodontic audiences online, and you're good at it, and you're not cringy. And I salute you for that, sir. And that's not to say that other people who are popular, are cringy, but they are, a lot of them. So what's one marketing or patient connection strategy that's underused but highly effective?
I think, like you said, like to make it not cringy, I think the biggest word I think of is authenticity. It's like, I think some of the cringy things is when you try to be somebody you're not. So if people try to replicate what we're doing, it'll probably just come off as not authentic. So I think authenticity is huge. And then people, if you really want to start to have intentionality with what you're posting, people appreciate when you teach them things, help them, educate them, or entertain them. But authenticity is always going to be number one. So if you're creative, express it. If you're not, then don't. Just be yourself. And it usually the right people will find you if you just be that. And that's kind of what I did. And they found me. I didn't have the intention to blow up. It just did.
Yeah, I like to joke that not everyone has it's sort of like you have a face for radio, they'll say.
Yeah.
Not everyone.
It doesn't hurt.
Not everyone needs to be on TikTok. And I'm sorry,
Correct.
Katie, our social media
Yeah.
expert, is in the crowd. She was actually nodding yes. This
For
is
sure.
good. She knows more about social media than I ever will.
There
But-
are great faceless accounts.
Well, I wasn't making like
just kidding.
I wasn't drawing attention to the fact that Grant is handsome, which he is. But I was just saying that I think some people begrudgingly do social media because they feel like they have to.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse to me than that.
Correct. Yeah.
But you probably have someone on your team that's like really good at it and have them do it. This is another marketing question that someone submitted. What promotional items do your patients or the community seem to like the most? I know like Fishbein, you guys do a ton of really well. Eliza, shout out to her. She's probably responsible for a good amount of that. And she'll talk about that later this weekend. But what are some promotional items right now that are really popular?
So tomorrow, when you go into the offices, you're going to literally see every promotional item that we give out. I honestly, I don't know what's most popular right now. What has probably been the all-time best thing we did was we partnered with every school in all the offices that we have, and we were able to make a branded water bottle with the school foundation, or the school and our name on it. And those students were only allowed to use that water bottle in school. So now every water bottle in all the schools has our name on it.
Because
Koozies.
I will say one
Okay.
one point on that is we've always tried to get nicer swag so that if it's things that we think we would wear or our families would wear or use or want to give away, we would tend to spend a little more to get a nicer shirt that people will actually wear than spending a few dollars less and getting a shirt that someone's going to throw in the Goodwill bin. So it's just
So comfort colors, not Hanes
comfort
50/50.
colors or Bella Canvas only.
Yeah.
And then like water bottles, like obviously a nice brand instead of the off brand. And I know that's a little debatable, but people use nice things. And if you want your logo seen, you have to give away nice things.
If you go off brand, you may become the off brand.
That's a good one. I like that, Dr. Sarver.
Hey, I actually was a pretty good marketer in my day.
I really like that.
You probably still are a
Write that
good
down,
marketer.
Miranda.
Well,
we know who you are. So you've done something right.
Me?
Yeah. You're a good marketer.
Everyone knows who you are.
This is the transition of the time that when I got out of orthodontics, for example, the Alabama state law would not allow you to have your practice name in letters bigger than an inch on your practice, and you could only have one place. Wow. So very, very strict kind of rules. So that didn't exactly foster a lot of that, a lot of thought about that topic. But then as time went on, those sort of things changed. I think most of my stuff has always been, I remember I came down here to Panama. Soccer's big here in Pensacola, right?
Soccer pretty big.
There's a big soccer tournament, and I came down here, and I don't remember who the orthodontist was, but he had a tent up and was advertising it, and I just thought that was the cheesiest thing I could think of.
Yeah.
That was then?
It was not Ben. It was not Ben. Just to be clear.
No.
Because we would have had like 3 tents.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, and
And
a
the
petting
avatar,
zoo and a
You'd have
magician.
balloons
Yeah.
flying away. Yeah. But anyway, for me, it's mostly been being benevolent with the community and the soccer. I've sponsored their initial, what's called the Mayor's Cup, since its inception. And that went 20 years. I asked out after 15 years and was not allowed. I think I was able to cut it in half. And that sort of, but that's mostly been my stuff is
Yeah.
being available economically for things that schools need. And they know they can just come ask and it'll probably happen.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of orthodontics. One of the things I love about orthodontics is the community aspect of it. And it's generally speaking with orthodontics, it's the idea that we can do the bare minimum, which is straighten teeth, align bites, nothing wrong with that. But the fact that we can find fun and whimsy and something that's a surprise or unexpected for patients in the regular event of what we do is a really golden opportunity. And, my kids, they get excited over, it could be like a ball of mud. They would be excited about it, So to see like that joy in their eyes, I just think it's a cool opportunity. I know that traditionally it's frowned upon. I know that, 40 years ago, this stuff would seem kind of crazy, but to me, it's a question of, if you can do it, why not do it? Because I think it makes for joy. And I think the degree that it makes for joy in people is the degree to which it does help build your practice. But it's also a question of, if I can do this, why don't I? Because I think it's bringing joy to people, which is really why we should be doing it. But Grant, I'm sure you have like 17 items. Grant has like an ice cream shop. Is it ice cream or cookies? What is it?
Donuts.
Donuts.
Yeah.
I was right there.
I want to do ice cream though. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You love
I think
ice cream though.
Yeah,
yes?
I do.
Okay. Go
So
ahead.
yeah, we do a lot of things. I think it all, like, no matter what branding you have, the energy behind it is the most important thing. You can put your logo on everything, but as long as your service aligns with it, your mission and everything leads up to that, then the branding becomes easy. And people want to represent it because the experience they have at your office is where it starts. But I mean, one thing that was kind of cool, we did this last year. We invited Santa Claus to come to our office, and like,
Of course.
we opened it up to the whole community, and we just said anyone who wants to come, and we take pictures with everybody and serve hot chocolates and donuts to everybody. And we, like, the first so many people who came, like 100 people who came, got like this customized Santa Collins orthodontic shirt, and it created scarcity. So people were like so excited. So next year we'll have a new design that the first 100 that'll come will get that. So it's kind of a nice little fun, exciting thing that the people who do come, get some exclusive item that kind of like they're proud of it. But the whole experience was awesome. So we'll do it again next year.
All right, I'm going to open this up to the audience in short answers. I don't want like an explanation. Is there a merch item, giveaway item that's been really popular? Just shout it out. Someone has to say something or I'm going to feel real dumb. Hold on a second. What? Rock charts? Rock charms. Croc charms, gibbets.
Those are so popular.
Right.
Charms.
We do see them a lot.
I've heard of those.
I was not hearing that at all. Croc charms. We do croc charms, and they're great. I agree.
Someone
The kids
said
come-
crossbody bags. Those are really popular too. We've done those. We still do those. They're very popular.
I feel like rock charms could be something. I'm just throwing that out there. Like it felt like that's the next big thing, and you heard about it here first,
Save that for your tour.
right? Anything else?
Candles,
Candles? Tell me about that.
branded candles, like we tell them you're going to be stressed if you break every test, and then we give them a candle to relax.
Oh, I love
Amazing.
that. That's really cool.
That's
So if you couldn't hear that, he said that patients are told they're going to be stressed with
one.
braces, but here's a candle so you can relax. Is it a custom scent? No, just a regular smell.
Here's your next step with a candle is have
But
it
we call
laced
it a
with
custom
THC.
scent, right?
Yeah. Wow, a THC candle,
Wow,
David.
Okay.
Yeah.
David's hit that part of his
Hey,
career.
I'm not dead yet.
Let me know where you get that one.
All the orthodontists in Colorado are like, we've had that for years. Yeah. Amazing. I can't get any better than that. So let's shift on to the next question. This is going to be for Ben and Amanda together. And we have maybe one other question and then we'll wrap it up so we can hit the open bar. So our timing is good here. You guys are really good at this. We're going to talk about scaling operations. When it comes to systems and operations, what's the single most impactful change you've seen in the last few years? And then maybe how can some of the practices here implement it?
So there's a lot of little things, and you're going to see all of these things tomorrow that we do, which we do to increase our efficiency. But none of it matters unless you can get total team buy-in. And there's no one, I think, that's better at getting that than Amanda Floyd, which is what makes her, in my opinion, the best orthodontic consultant that there is. She get that, and that's basically what you do. You go into offices and you get the team to buy in, because no matter what ideas we have, no matter how efficient we want to make things, without team buy-in, it doesn't get us too far. But maybe you can give a more specific answer on some of the things you see in some offices.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that speaking just from our practice, we've seen a shift in the last few years of just going back to the basics, remembering what got us to where we are now. And it's very easy at scale to forget what you were doing when you were really hustling. And I know I'm looking out and I see a lot of guys out here with really big practices and girls. with really big practices, and you sort of forget what you were doing early on, and you take your foot off the gas, and it's kind of like you start accepting less than 5-star service. And when you start letting that go, your patients will notice, your team will notice. You have to deliver a 5-star experience at every touch point, whether that's with patients. More importantly, from my point of view, is delivering a 5-star experience at every touch point with your team. That way you're able to continually attract and retain top talent. If you're attracting and retaining top talent that believes in the mission of what you are here for, that's really all you have to figure out. Your team will get you to the next level.
Nice. You've seen this with a couple things recently that I think of is, and I don't want to offend anyone here, but I have on my team one lady, I guess is the word, who's a huge fan of Disney. And over the last 5 years, Disney has made certain changes or made certain cuts to what traditionally they'd be viewed as like 5-star in service, and they've lost a lot of their luster. Another one is Las Vegas. Las Vegas 10 years ago was like a place that it seems everyone wanted to go to. But what has happened is they've started to charge so much. They've taken away all the free things, the comps, the sort of things that made Vegas a desirable place. And now if you look at their numbers, like tourism's way down. So it's just something to think about. I think you can't eliminate what it was that made you successful in the first place, which is exactly what you said. I'm just completely parroting your excellent thoughts.
Thank you for that.
I have a question that's along these same lines of systems and operations, and it's a multifold question. Whoever came up with this question, what a beautiful mind you have. But we're just going to hit these questions in turn, and then we'll end with one big question. But what TC presentation tool or system do you use? I know Ben and Amanda's answer, so I'm going to go over to Grant. What TC presentation tool or system do you use, Grant?
We just show photos, and then we use just that kind of sliding scale thing. We work with the Ortho Bank a lot, and we use the Jamie Reynolds with the
Ortho-Fi?
Yeah, Ortho-Fi. So I don't know. I think it's more about, to me, it's like that's all great, but again, it's about connection in the room. It's if you can be connected to them and not pressure them in a way that feels too salesy. I think most of the time I look for alignment with them as much as they do with me. It's like I'm assessing them, and I'll be honest with them the whole time. And yeah, it seems like most people want to sign up then.
David, do you use a TC tool or system or presentation system?
Without doubt, the main thing that I've actually started and I'm actually going to be part of my presentation is initiating development in the analog era of imaging systems, because patients don't understand half the words on our screens. We use our screens as a slide projector. Your smile is this, your face is that, and so forth. That is not dynamic. It's not what they're used to on television. And it really got important to me because I started out doing jaw surgery cases. That was my job. And so when somebody's going to undergo that, what's their number one goal? They want to look good. And it may be the functional problem they start out with, but if they turn out not as pretty, let's say, if I turn out uglier than I was, I'm not happy.
Sure.
Okay. So there was a way to be able to talk to patients to see what they see. Do you see the gummy smile? Yes. I was told I had to have jaw surgery. No, you can actually have, in your case, crown lengthening. Let me show you. And then that makes that referral rock solid, and it puts them on the right path for the outcome. And so that's going to be, I'm doing my history of development of imaging and where I am now, because for me, and I think Dr. Streeter would cement that for our practice, that's an important part of our communication. Is not class 1, 2, 3 or any of that, but it's the illustrative value of visualization of what your outcome is to be.
Nice. And you're well known for that. Amanda and Ben, probably on the other side of the spectrum, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I've sat in on a consultation. You share, which is awesome, like your consultation sheet. But tell me a little bit about it, I guess.
Keeping it as simple as possible, being as approachable as we can possibly be. We don't want to be the people. We don't want our TCs being someone in heels and a blazer that a mom is not going to relate to instantly. So we want to keep it as casual and simple. We want to meet patients where they are. And we don't use screens you have a fun screen now that he loves to have new ideas and new fun toys. But in most of the offices, just a sheet, very casual. And it works. Our conversion rate is very high. We have gone off that and brought in a digital component, and our conversion rate went down. And so we went back to the paper fee sheet. Part of that, yes, is that's what our TCs are very comfortable with. But part of it is it's just a very casual conversation that allows the patient to feel like, oh, it's really no big deal. Like they came here to get braces. Let's make that as easy for them as it can possibly be, or aligners.
It's interesting to see a group of people that are being successful with very different approaches. That's another thing. It's probably something to say about picking the system that best fits your personality.
To you.
And
Ben is a very simple guy, and that's like he likes simple things. Like
except when it comes to magic
and watches.
And watches.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see our new patient process tomorrow. You may be underwhelmed by it. It's not a dog and pony show, but for us, it works, and we're happy with our conversion rate and our number of starts. And I would say if you're in a new patient consult tomorrow, the thing that I would pay attention to is the words our TC says. They're instructed to say certain words, certain scripting. They always go by it, and it seems to work for us.
Very nice.
Like certain words that are not allowed, certain words that are allowed.
What are some words that aren't allowed?
Let me ask the girls back there. We don't allow 1,000. We don't allow, what's some words we don't allow?
We just don't say big numbers.
No big numbers.
Terms, unless it's an arbitrary investment. We don't say financial investment.
Yeah, we don't say investment. Like we say things instead of, and in Casey's TC presentation, I don't want to give too much because she's going to go through like every single word and what to say in place of it. But there's a science behind that where it puts someone at ease. If you're not saying these big words that feel like, oh, I need to go think about this.
Yeah,
This feels like
If you don't say 1,000, what do you say? Like 4960 or 58?
5880.
Okay.
Yeah, we love to point to the number.
They'll get our
Interesting.
exact scripting tomorrow, yeah.
Maybe you'll learn some
Ooh,
tomorrow.
I'm looking. I hope to learn something tomorrow. All right, shifting a little bit. And again, someone asked this question. I want to honor this question. It's a good one. What about TC pipeline or follow-up? Ben, Amanda, I'll start with you guys. Do you have a certain system for that?
Well, it's an area we can improve, but basically, and again, we'll go over this tomorrow too, or in the doctor's only meeting, but our TCs are incentivized where in order for them to get their bonus, they can only have a certain percentage of pending. So that hopefully incentivizes them enough to follow up.
And then we heavily incentivize them on the front end for patients to start same day. So that decreases the need for follow-up. So our same day start percentage is probably one of the highest of anyone, but that decreases the need for pending follow-up because I'll be honest, I've been in hundreds of practices, not to call anybody out here because I have current clients, but there's no one that's great at pending follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a need and a shortcoming in every single office. Some people do it better than others, but it's one of the things that TCs aren't super motivated to do unless it's bonused.
Yeah, it's easy to do what's right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Urgency is what drives behavior. David, you got a TC follow-up system.
Yes, and in year after year is the least glamorous part of anything that we do, which is why it isn't excitable position for someone to have. But same sort of thing, incentivization. And I will admit that I did have one personality who was in charge of collections who actually loved a win.
Great.
She would come out of her room going, yes, because it would be some Mountain Brook, the rich part of town,
Yeah.
that was a pain to rear and wasn't paying their bills. And she nails them.
Yeah.
That's a great
When you
trait
get
in a
those
financial
Mountain Brook
person.
people, that's
She actually liked it.
Feels like an Arkansas town to me.
it does sound very
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Amanda and I are both Arkansans for what it's worth. Don't hold it against us. Grant, do you have a TC follow-up pipeline system?
Yeah, we use, it used to be called Infusionsoft. Now it's Keep. Yeah. So we've built a bridge from our practice software to a software that will communicate based on patient status a series of steps that we go through, and some of the steps are just an email gets sent to the TC to send a care card or a phone call. It just gives a series of instructions that are automated. Some of that is email driven, but we still try to do it in a way that aligns with kind of our values.
We used to do that and we gave up. I'm very impressed. He's sort of underselling this. I still like to call it Infusionsoft, but we learned that from Dustin Burleson back in the day.
We did.
And it's basically it's like, what would Old Navy do if you clicked on the website and you were interested in jeans and then you said, nah, I'm not going to buy the jeans. Maybe it's just because you got distracted, or you're like, well, actually what I want is this, whatever. Mm-hmm. What do? Well, they tag you in some sort of digital way, and then they put you in a funnel. And then through that funnel, you get multiple different emails and touch points. Maybe you get a card in the mail or things like that. Like, we understand that of like big retail and like the need for that, and the elegance of a system like that is pretty impressive. Well, the fact that you can do that on your scale is pretty cool. So I was really hyped about it, and then it's just so complicated and expensive to keep up with.
Is that a lead management system like Lead Sigma, or is it something that TCs?
This is something that TCs would manage.
After
It's not unlike a system like a Lead Sigma in that it's a CRM is what it's called. And this is going beyond my area of expertise, but it's basically just you have a bunch of contacts that get tagged in different ways. They get served different funnels, and the funnel leads them to the end result, which is hopefully a yes, but sometimes a no.
Okay.
So again, Grant is underselling the complexity of that, and the fact that he's still doing it is amazing. So go pick his brain. There is a system called Ava from the company Dentma. That's what we use.
We use that
You use
for a
it
while.
as well.
Yeah,
Wow,
we use
okay.
both.
But it's doing the same thing. Okay, we're getting really into the weeds, but hopefully that's helpful if you're not using something like that. The big thing I would say is that there is some low-hanging fruit in our follow-up, in our obs pool, and all these like things that kind of get ignored because there's not urgency around them. And I think like that's something that you could probably focus on fixing before you fix other things, potentially. All right, a couple other questions. We'll make it one question. Do you do in-house financing? I would hope so. Do you do credit checks for patients? I'm going to ask Ben. Do you do credit checks, Ben?
We do not.
Yeah, I knew that. Anybody in-house financing? I mean, we use Ortho Bank. I'm guessing OrthoFi, Ortho Bank, stuff like that.
In-house team.
In-house team. So what, you guys don't use any outsourced system? You do it yourself through a local bank, or do you just have like a safe?
We have a team
Okay,
that handles collections.
got it. Okay, cool. All right, that's it for that. We got one last question. We're going to wrap. I hope this has been good. I hope you've enjoyed some of this. This is a sort of future-facing question, a big picture question. I always like to end with questions like this because I never know what people are going to say. But let's look ahead 5 to 10 years. What would you say is the biggest opportunity that orthodontists should prepare for? And what's the biggest potential threat? Just do them at the same time, opportunity and threat in the next 5 to 10 years. Ben, do you feel like jumping off?
Sure. I mean, I think the challenge that we're going to face, and I think that a lot of offices are facing now, is listen, ortho is the best profession in the world, even better than any profession in healthcare. But I think margins are getting a little bit tighter, and I think you're going to have to do more with less. But I also look at that as an opportunity. I mean, now with technology, with AI, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to do more with less. But even without efficiency, if you can provide 5-star service, Ritz-Carlton, Disney, you're going to be successful.
Okay, right on. What about you, Amanda?
Fully agree. I think the thing that we face now is the challenge of, the TikTok generation and everybody being online complaining about their jobs when, this is the best industry to work in. And so you're fighting with a competing mindset of everyone wants to work from home, but in orthodontics, we do need to be here to serve patients. And so we have to be forward thinking to provide a great workplace where people want to come in, where we're going to retain team members and not constantly be in a funnel. And so I think that's going to be the challenge in the coming years as that becomes more popular.
Yeah, workplace concerns.
Yeah.
Working from home sounds fun. I don't know. I feel like we're seeing a little bit of rebound from that.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, seeing a little bit of rebound, but it's still one of the things that I think most in offices are fighting because
Yeah, I mean,
all over
I'd
TikTok.
love to work from home. That sounds great. For me, from my personality type, I love it.
It's not the best. I love to work
For
from
you-
home, but travel all the time.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. All right, Dave, what about you? Biggest threats, biggest opportunities next 5 to 10 years?
Well, one thing, I don't want to travel anymore. I would say that I think, and this may be controversial, that we've sort of lost control of the numbers of practitioners. And in Alabama, for example, we take people based on they're from small town. You know, we got underserved areas except for Birmingham, Mobile, Huntsville, and people all want to, promise that they're going to go there, and they don't. And so you end up, everybody's packed in the same places. So I think the challenge will be increased numbers of orthodontists compared to the past. Second thing, of course, is the obvious one, is with the advent of aligners, where anybody can be, quote, an orthodontist. I literally see dental students say, should I really go specialize? That's 2 years wasted. I could already be doing orthodontics. Well, you have to be careful by saying, no, that's not, you're not the same thing. So I don't know how we handle that one. Those are things that worry me about our future. And that's why, by the way, I'll put a word in for the function of our foundation, is to help prepare us for that future that is pretty blurry at the moment. And, what can we do as a collective group? Because I think we all recognize how fortunate we are to be what we are, and fortunate to serve who we serve. You have clientele that are the tip of the bird. And so, is that a good answer?
That's great. Yeah, and I should have mentioned that this weekend is in support of the AAOF. You may not have known that when you signed up, but it is, in fact. And we'll learn about that more tomorrow and the next day. But we have a really cool profession. I want to keep it. I want it to be great when I leave this profession. It was really great when I got into it. I was super excited. I still am excited. Occasionally on a Wednesday, I'm not so excited, but you know what I mean. Go ahead, David.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Ben and Amanda for originally how this got coalesced. Was I was going to have my course over at Orange Beach, and Ben and I got talking. We realized we were having courses on the same weekend, and so they graciously volunteered to do all the work, and then all the people who are lecturing here are people you've heard of. They're big ticket items. They're not all the money that we create out of this goes to that foundation, and it's an important thing. And I think I want to thank them in front of everyone that I do appreciate that work that y'all have done so very much.
We're getting a lot of credit. All the work was by Casey, but thank you. Casey and Kayla, I should say, did all the
Yeah,
work for this.
Casey, Kayla, lots of hard work done.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a free drink.
Yeah.
On your tab, Kayla.
A free domestic bottle of beer. Grant, you get to bring us home. What are you worried about? What are you excited about in the next 5 to 10 years?
I'm not really worried about much. I mean, you look over the last 10 years, how many things did so many people worry about that just was nothing. And so I'm not worried at all. We have an amazing profession. I think people want their teeth straightened, and as long as you're consistent, you'll be good. And then I guess, I think it'd be really good for us. I think one thing I'm seeing is there's, these trends in the dental world that get pushed out there as far as education type of things, but just maintaining our consistency in our education and our authority in this field, and making sure we're still, speaking our truth as orthodontists, and still making sure we're maintaining that integrity, and not trying to sway too much, within the field of dentistry to tell people what they want to hear, but know what we know is right. And so I think for me, that's been a big thing. I think if we're consistent with that as orthodontists in our profession, we'll continue to be advocates for what people really need.
Yeah, very nice. Very outside of the box answer. I liked it. Very good.
That's me.
It reminds me of that meme of, I guess it's Michael Phelps, maybe it's another swimmer, where he's swimming and the other guy is kind of looking over to see where he's at. And I think that's a good kind of like summation of a few of the things that have been said, and just that as orthodontists, if we focus on what we do best, I really don't think, as you alluded to, all the things that were fear-mongered over the last 10, 12, 15 years we've been doing this, they didn't really end up mattering that much. And so kind of focus on your own, focus on what has made you successful. It never hurts to learn new stuff, but always be kind of looking ahead and maybe not worrying so much about the things you can't control, because they're going to happen no matter what. So, hey, to those of you that are watching this, hopefully you enjoyed it. We had an awesome audience. Y'all are very quiet. It was great. I really appreciate it. I know how hard that is to be quiet for an hour, believe me. Hopefully you learned some great stuff. We're going to do this again someday. I just know it. This panel was incredible. You guys were really great. So that's all we got. Fishbein Fundamentals will continue on this weekend. If you've never been to Fishbein Fundamentals, you should consider it. It's really great. For as long as they're doing this, you need to come do it. This is like meeting 24. You should have already been here. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time on the Digital Orthodontist Live. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kyle.